That's there. Sorry, I'm getting lots of bing bongs, which is absolutely lovely. It means people are chiming in, joining in. So I hope that your day has been well worth it today, and maybe that you had a nice flutter on the horses this week. Hope you were a winner. Me, not so much. Okay, now I'm a little bit slower today simply because I am working on only on my laptop. So thank you for joining us. As always, I'm Julie Hall. I'm working only on my laptop tonight because I'm remote. I'm actually in the western suburbs of Sydney and have been for the last couple of days, and I've had the opportunity to spend some lovely time with my father, and catch up with some family members that I haven't been able to do for the last couple of months. So that has been absolutely lovely for me, and I hope everybody else's week has been just as delightful as mine. And I have been having so much fun playing with lace and Christmas ornaments. So I've got a couple here, and I'll show you some different ones that I've done. I'm actually loving this one. This is just one of the smaller ones, but I just think it goes really, really well with the glitter bauble. And then I did this one as well. Now this one is really stiff because I didn't take out a lot of the wash away. I only gave it a really gentle wash because I had a mix-up. I'd had a thread burr, and it really clumped up, and what ended up happening was, if you look just there, there is a disconnect in the lace, and I needed to find a way to glue that back together. So there are two types that I'm going to show you today of our baubles. This is the bauble that we actually sell, and as you can see, it's a front-facing or flat-fronted bauble. And we've got the free outline design, and then you can fill it in with any name or words that you might like. And good evening. I can see that Barbara Evans and Michelle Reynolds are with us. Thank you for joining us this evening. And we've got these in lots of lovely colours that you can choose from. Now, you will notice that this week I popped up a freebie on the Locked in Stitches group, and that is for this beautiful lace cover, and it's a 6 centimetre, which is what, 1.5 inches, I think. Might be 2 and a bit. 6 centimetre bauble, and the lace is just beautifully wrapping around that. And then I've used the stiffness that's remained in the lace with the wash away to come through and allow that to give it a really 3D effect. So please do help yourself with that. And as always, if I can ask you not to share that, that would be lovely. So tonight, what I want to show you is how I stitched out this 8-piece almost spider, and I'll show you how it's going to go. So it's a circular design. And the reason I didn't give this one as the freebie is because you really do need an 18 centimetre hoop for that. But what it does is it allows the design to beautifully sit over your bauble. Now, if you don't want to use glue on this, you don't have to. I like the idea of glue because I don't want things to fall apart. I want them to stay there for as long as I possibly can have them doing so. So I'm going to show you both of those ones tonight. And to start with, we're going to look at the nice and quick way to do the Christmas bauble. So let's come and have a look. We'll start out basting down the stabilizer. Basting down the fabric, and I've used bag fabric. Now, naturally I am going to speed this up. You'll see I have to position my bag fabric because I stuffed up anything with a clean iron. And bag fabric is really just a very dense cotton with a very stiff layer underneath. If you don't have bag fabric, you can use just a regular cotton with a stiff interfacing behind it and get a very similar result. So one of the things I like about these baubles is just being able to make them for you. So I've done them for babies' first Christmases. I've done one for the nieces who have been getting married. Whatever you want to celebrate. And even I've had people coming through and buying up and saying, well, I'm going to put each year on one, and we've decided a different one each year. So it really is up to you what you put on there. Hi Diana, thank you for joining us. I am fantastic. And I've got some really pretty things to show you guys as well. Now, I have sped this up a bit, as is my wash to do. Okay, so the machine's overpowering my voice. Let me see what I can do about that. Okay, does that make it any better? All the fun of playing with the different levels. And all I want to do is make sure that that both are in there. Scarily enough, Michelle, that is the second machine is I wanted to keep the sound of stitching in there, but this is actually a pre-recorded stitch out because I'm up here at Dad's. Maybe that'll be... Yes, I was using the cue machine, yeah. And look, it's been really good being able to use cue machine, particularly when you're doing something like lace. Most lace only requires a single colour. So it's a nice thing if you are doing a multiple do have multiple machines, being able to do things, setting up one machine for that easy stuff is always a good idea. Got to trim away as I go. The law of the land. So, what's everybody doing for their weekend? I'm thinking I might, if the weather's nice, because I'm really not even sure what the weather's supposed to be in Canberra this weekend, I'm thinking I might take my darling husband out for a drive somewhere. Okay, and no, I'm looking at what the weather's going to be in Canberra over the next week, and that will not be happening at all. Oh, Michelle Reynolds, you're home alone, lucky woman. So you can get your stitch on. Okay. So I don't want much out of life, but a machine that was, that totally threaded itself and almost, picked the colours out for me so I didn't have to bother so much. That would be very nice. Yeah, Barbara, I think we've got exactly the same thing happening here in Canberra as well. So I'm guessing I won't be picking. But we are now a 100% vaxxed family. The girls got their vaccinations yesterday. And because I was here with Dad, I managed to make Edward go and do it. So, he got to fill in all the paperwork this time. He got to do all of the fun stuff. And this is working really well. I'm sitting here in my lounge, in Dad's lounge. And Dad's probably about 5 feet away, watching, I can assume it's the current there. But he's got his headphones on, so he can't hear me and I'm never know him. And then we've got, that he can hear the TV perfectly. Just what's going on. All going there, getting customers kits for Christmas. I'm looking at what I want to teach for the next Great International Craft Club. And I need 3 classes. And I'm thinking that one of those classes is going to have to be putting together and quilting the good old Christmas stocking. Oh yay, Michelle's only got 2 more pages to go on the Christmas tree. And it's looking lovely. And thank you so much for posting the photos. I'm loving how they're looking. We had rain, but it was only for a couple of minutes. It's rained here in Sydney all day. The stitching itself finished. Okay, so what we've got here is our designs all stitched out. I'm just going to grab some nice sharp scissors so that I can come through and cut these guys out. Now I've used a really stiff fabric, like a backed drill or a badge fabric, but any fabric's fine. You might want to put a layer of interfacing though on the back of it, just to give it that little bit of body
the design wants. Now at the same time, I'm heating up my hot glue gun. And I like a good hot glue gun just because it's quick. Cut as close as you can without trimming any of those outline stitches.
Yes, buckram would absolutely work, Michelle, and hi, Carol.
Now you can put whatever you want on here. If you're a person who loves a good photo stitch design, you can do that. But you will want to download the free outline satin stitch so that you know exactly what size you've got as well. These balls come in 6 different colours, so there is something for everybody, and you get to choose whatever colours you would want, and then you get to add in and highlight using your threads with whatever colours you want as well. Okay, so after that I'm going to take off my tearaway, and I'm also going to put a dab of water on and remove these basting stitches on each of them as well. Now once we put that dab of water on, we're going to want to wait till that dries. So I'm going to go and remove those stitches and then come back and show you what it looks like when it's all dry. And now all my stitches have been removed, and I'm just going to take off that last little stitch on the back there, just get rid of anything that might pop out. And what I've got is I've got my bauble. Now it does come with a tacky sort of a plate, but that's not enough for long-term adhesion. So instead I'm going to use my hot glue gun, and I'm going to very quickly come through and paste down my bauble. What I could also do there, and I'll just come to the next one, is paste the top and get that in the correct position before coming through and setting the bottom. With hot glue you do need to work quickly, but so long as you're prepared, it is a great way of quickly securing your items. And not bad. 3 Christmas balls in just a couple of minutes. How nice and simple was that one? Now, that one wants a little more glue on the side there, and we're all done. Okay.
Okay, so yes, hot glue is definitely the way to go. Now, if you are not a hot glue person, you could use a PVA or, an araldite. You could use a double-sided, but a really heavy double-sided tape if you wished to. One of the things that I love about the hot glue gun is just that it sets immediately. So I haven't got to wait for anything to dry and worry about it slipping out of position or anything like that. So it hits all of those great lazy buttons. So yes, Michelle Reynolds, brilliant question. And I hadn't considered buckram, but it's kind of the perfect thing. So, so thank you for that idea. If you're after buckram, you'll generally find it, if it's not with the stabilizers, you'll generally find it with the home furnishings. It's what I know my friend who was a curtain maker and upholsterer used to use it for making pelmets. So it's a great thing for that. So the next thing I want to show you, and I'm just going to really quickly, I might skip through some of it because it can be quite boring looking at lace stitching out, but there is some of it there that I do want to show you. So let's come through and have a look at creating our lace design. So what I've got here is 2 layers of wash weight. I tried doing it on one and it just does. Oh, those are these ridiculous. Okay, keep learning something every day. So what? Yes, 2 layers of wash weight. And I do have a preferred width for doing any wash away work, and that preferred width is one that doesn't have a lot of wastage in it. As you can see on this width here, there's a good inch and a half top and bottom at the of non-stacking space that still needs to be in the book. And you really do need all of this fabric to be in the book. Now you can use I'm lucky to get a term, fake hook outline. Absolutely. Is that better? And Naomi, thank you there for that. Hopefully that one will be better. You can use a fake bit inner. So if you are worried about wasting your wash away, or for that matter, I guess your stabilizer, come through and create yourself a fake piece of fabric that is going to be the part that the hook sits in the hook. Let me try and see what is Can you hear me better now? Okay, is that better? So is that better? Can you hear me better now? Okay, so that stops the noise from getting better but still soft. believe I have muted the video, but now I just need to see. If that is not muted yet. Okay. So let's stop that. Okay, so I'm assuming now you can all hear me, because I've turned that off, but that's doing some sort of weird thing. Okay, so now you can hear me, and sorry to do this to you guys. So input is in there, output is there. Now, tell me if this makes a difference. So can you now? Nope. Okay, nope, I can do that myself. Okay, I've got absolutely no idea. Okay, so fundamentally I have absolutely no idea how I change that, so I'm just going to take that off. Please do forgive me, I am so sorry for stuffing that up. But what we were talking about is the wastage that we end up with on wash away, well, with all stabiliser, but on wash away particularly in those more expensive stabilisers, because they do need to be in a hooped position. So you can create a false inner hoop where you have either a piece of fabric, and once again, when we were talking about buckram would be the perfect product to create that inner hoop for. It's really stiff, but it also doesn't have any distortion, which makes it perfect, and it would allow you to hoop the item and have a square or a rectangle, depending on what size of the hoop, in the centre that you then basted that stabiliser in. The trick that you need to understand, and where I've seen a lot of people mess up with this one, is that the fabric needs to be unable to be distorted. Because if I was using a 100% cotton and I hooped it up and then I cut out the centre, when I take it out of the hoop and go to use it for the next thing, what's going to happen is the odds of my getting that in the exact same position are really slim. And because of that, it's going to distort, and when you stitch, it's going to cause problems with how that fabric sucks the embroidery in. And it's one of those things, I want to do some lace work next year. I would like to do some lace work actually around a shirt. I think it would be a great one for everybody to have a go with, doing a slightly larger project. And it's one of those things that you'll all appreciate, the fact that your bums are smaller than mine, when you have to repeat and repeat and repeat the lace over and over. And we might, so yes, we'll have a look at that. The other thing that I wanted to show you, now this is going to take 2 seconds to do properly, because here we go. I want to show you one that I'm working on and that I think everybody has decided might be a nice project. I had one more project that I needed to do, and I gave you guys the option of either my nice little fairy dust lady or a applique apron, and it seems to be that this chick is the one that everybody wants. So I'm going to go home and test her on the weekend. I just digitized her today, but I do think that she is just gorgeous, and she's just so ticked off. And I'll be doing her as both an individual stitch and with the wording as well. Okay, now I gotta find where we are. Okay, other than that, on Sunday we will be stitching, and I'm just going to come through and find, because the one that we're going to stitch on Sunday afternoon as part of the Sunday sew along is my favorite stitch out of all of the Christmas sampler. So I do want to share that and ideally inspire you. And be nice if it wasn't so darn small. Let's see. I'm just trying to get a good image of it. Okay. So the one that we are going to be working on is the Santa's Workshop. Now, when I initially digitized this, I only had a 5x7 hoop, so it was in, I think it was in 3 different hoopings. So the first hooping was the chimney, and then there was the first half of the workshop and the second half of the workshop, and it might have even been a separate hooping for the door and the word workshop, thinking about it. So if you've got a 5x7 hoop, you can still do this that way. If you have a larger hoop, you can get it into either 2 hoopings or even 1 hooping, depending on the size of your hoop. So it is such a fun one to do. It's not the quickest stitch I've ever done because of course it's got all this beautiful snow around it, but it is a gorgeous one. And next week we are going to do the second last in the Rock the Casbah collection. And I'm so thrilled to see all of the different styles and colours that people have been doing in this quilt. It is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much to everybody who's been sharing. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, look, come share some photos, guys. It has been suggested that maybe we should have a little bit of a share and share alike before the end of the year, and let's have a look at what we've been making for the year. Other than that, guys, I will leave you tonight. Don't forget that you can download from the Locked In Stitches page this beautiful lace ornament design. It does fit in your 5x7 hoop, and it's just so pretty. And other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you